والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia said, is it possible to listen to cassettes which have Qur'an on them, follow them with the Qur'an? Do you get the same kind of reward as reciting the Qur'an, Shaykh?
Well, the greatest reward is for reciting the Qur'an by yourself and reciting it properly. Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite the Qur'an, since indeed it shall come on the Day of Judgment as a shafi'ah, as an intercessor for those who used to recite it. Then furthermore, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite the Qur'an, since for each letter you recite, you receive 10 rewards. And I do not say Alif Lam Mim is one letter, rather Alif is a letter, Lam is another letter, and Mim is a third one. So the greatest reward is for those who recite the Qur'an and recite it properly, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Then comes second to that is those who listen to the Qur'an. Because when we spoke about the etiquette of reciting the Qur'an and befriending the Qur'an, we said there should be some time for your own recitation, where you can recite the word of Allah and have a dialogue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there should be some time where you can listen attentively to the Qur'an and enjoy its recitation. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam once said to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, recite the Qur'an upon me. He said, Ya Rasulullah, how can I recite it upon you while it was revealed to you or upon you? He said, recite it before me, unlike to listen to it from others other than me. So he went on and on reciting from Surah An-Nisa until he came to one verse, which is Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam started crying, and he said, Hasbuk, indicating that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to enjoy listening to the Qur'an as well. So there is a reward for listening to the Qur'an. And they said, as far as benefiting from the Qur'an, they said the one who recites is similar to the one who is milking a cow or a sheep. And the one who's listening is similar to the one who drinks the milk. So al-qari'u kal-halib was-sami'u kal-sharib. But the such word, as we stated before, al-harfu bi'ashri hasanat, is indicated for the one who recites the Qur'an. I just returned from the States, and we used to hold a recitation halqa every morning after Fajr, and many of the brothers and sisters are beginners. So I advise them to, after we finish our halqa, that if you don't know how to recite properly, you can seek the help of certain qaris. I directed them to a specific website that's called islamway.com, where you can log onto the recitations by different and various qaris, beautiful voices and recitations. I personally prefer, and I pick specially, may Allah have mercy on him, His Eminence Sheikh Mahmoud Khalil al-Husari, perfect recitation, excellent recitation, and he has different versions of the recitation, and he has what's known as al-Mushaf al-Muallim, the Mushaf, which is a total Qur'an, where he recites a verse slowly, then he allows you to repeat after him. This is very useful and beneficial for beginners. And there is a Mushaf al-Murattal, and there is a Mushaf al-Mujawwad. You can enjoy all of these recitations. So they benefited from that a great deal. And as a matter of fact, some of them came to me by the end of the last 10 days of Ramadan and said that I've got to finish the Qur'an for the very first time in my life. I have witnessed them spending most of the night following the recitation of the Shaykh on their laptops or their Walkman or CDs or whatever. So it is very, very useful, especially for beginners. But if you master the recitation of the Qur'an, I prefer for you to recite as much as you can, and Allah knows best. The website, once again, because it has a great collection of great qaris, islamway.com. And you will click on Tilawatun Qur'aniyya or Qur'anic recitation. And as I said, my favorite qari, Sheikh Mahmoud Khalil al-Husari, may Allah have mercy on him, has different sets of the entire Qur'an recitation, even with different dialects.
Jazakallah khair. And I think the message you're saying is don't despair. I mean, even if you find it difficult, carry on, still strive.
As I said, some people, when they attended the halqas in the beginning, they found a great difficulty, because even Arab, because they used not to recite the Qur'an at all for 4 years. So they were reluctant to attend again. But I give them the good news that the Prophet ﷺ said, if one who recites the Qur'an fluently is in the ranks of the angels, al-kiram, al-safarat al-barara, the purified angels, The one who recites the Qur'an with difficulty and he's stuttering receives double the reward. And in a few days, in a matter of 15 to 18 days, many of them were able, mashallah, to improve their recitation a great deal.
Jazakallah khair.